Hey Fig fam, happy spring. I want to talk to you guys today about how figs do in the springtime, what they do. I want to talk to you about Phil's figs and what I have growing on, how I'm propagating, just a quick spring update. And as you can see here, everything is exploding with growth here and all my propagations in the low tunnel. So check it out. We'll get down low. I've up potted a lot of figs. They're not all happy, but about 98% of them are. Tons of propagations here. Check that out. All the way down. So I made some more space. I organized things because I'm going to have to end up, because I have so many fig trees that are mother trees, I'm going to have to end up doing some sort of irrigation to water them all because it's just too many, guys. So what I've done is I've organized them into rows, and I'm going to put some drip irrigation on it and hopefully get them the water they need this spring to do well. Now, when figs wake up, they all wake up at different stages because they're all different varieties. In fact, everything you see right here is a different variety of fig, which is great. Just like the micro orchard here. All the figs on this side, different, this row different, this row different, and this row different. So I am going around and I am checking out the growth that we have. Now it was really hot today, so a lot of them are looking a little droopy because it was starting to get warm. I didn't get a chance to water them all. And then in the springtime, again, they're all at different stages. This one here died all the way back to the ground. And you can see its little bud coming up, and I thought it was gonna make it. That is Socorro Black, so wasn't hardy for me this year. Now, LSU Tiger, hardy. Triano Calabrese, what are you doing over there? Look at this fig, waking up. It's one of my older trees, and clearly I'm gonna have to do some thinning in here to get it appropriate to focus on the strongest branches. But right now, I'm just letting it wake up. It produced these, look at these suckers already out of the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has not produced suckers like that ever. And so I'm wondering if it's just hitting a great leap year, good fertilization practices, what have you. One of my earliest to wake up is this Godfather Fig. And if you guys don't know about the Godfather Fig, it was the fig that was on the set of the movie The Godfather in their garden. So, very beautiful thing. All of these figs are waking up here. Ones that I pruned way back, like this Stella, my Peter's honey from Sicily. Borges Oak Grease did great this winter. Surprisingly hardy variety. And guys, look at my dieback trees from the ground. It is definitely spring here. You can see even on the old growth of established in-ground trees, it'll sprout out nicely. So I have 5 branches there, and I'm just letting it do its thing. My Smith is coming back wonderfully. You can see from the base here, all the way up. So all of these trees now, before you saw when I had pruned them way back, if you haven't, take a look at that video. They're all waking up wonderfully. Especially this Figo Preto that is so special to my heart, right? It's my first top tier variety that I ever had. It's entering its 9th year of existence on this earth. And it is just waking up so wonderfully, guys. All of these branches. Because you know what? When figs wake up, that root system is alive and well. And an 8-year-old tree that's been in the ground here for 5 years, that root system's been very hardy and strong. And it's going to feed those figs to want to match that root system, right? Same with the Smith, same with the Longue d'Out, kind of. Longue d'Out was transplanted over here back before I had the full-on nursery and put in here. And it just might take a little bit longer. But they want to match the root systems that are underneath. And unfortunately, they'll focus on the growth until that time happens. And this is one of my big Paradiso genes. Again, unfortunately, died down to the ground, so it may not be as cold hardy for North Carolina as we previously thought. But it certainly bounces back and grows up from the ground, right? And then my Brooklyn Park JD, you guys watched the video where I pruned it back, has now pushed out. buds. Other hardy varieties like my Ronde Bordeaux, which died all the way back. And Negroni is coming in beautifully, right? Many of you know this is Violet de Bordeaux, beer's black, but it's coming back wonderfully with a fresh layer of compost. And then I fertilize at the base. So everything is waking up, guys, even the ones that really suffered. The only one that I'm really worried about, right? So we'll go down the line. Socorro Black, Edive de Argentile, Medici #1, LSU Tiger, Triano Calabrese, Regatta de Salento, beautiful variegated fig. And you can see the variegations on the branching already. So look at that. Bass's Favorite is waking up nicely. Nice lobe-shaped leaves. LSU Gold, a honey variety that I got to keep out here. This is the one I'm worried about. Italian 258. I thought I protected it. And here's what's interesting. If I were to score the bark right here, it's green, but it hasn't been waking up. So I'm wondering what the deal is, why it's not waking up. Maybe it is died back, whatever the case may be, but I'm waiting for something like the Socorro Black where it shows up from the bottom. It's kind of disappointing, but I'll show you why it's okay to think about, to let that slide. There's my Godfather. Little early for fruit set, but we have it. I have Colda Dama Ramada, just a crown fig variety right there. Beautiful variegated figs, beautiful variegated wood. Really coming into its own. It's almost ready to be up potted this year, but I think I got one more season in it. And guys, this is April, so think May, June. We're thinking up here, right? And then Galicia Negra, which I topped. Guys, check it out. And these are going to be my scaffolding branches. So this was about 6 feet tall. Cut it down, and we let it sprout out from there. So see this little node here? I don't want that taking up so much energy, so I'm just going to pop it off because I want it to focus all the growth on these 4 branches, my scaffolding branches, which will turn it into a beautiful tree shape that you see here, that you see here, my LSU Gold. And why I love these tree shapes, and I'm going to show you here, my in-ground tree, is to have an open center while also establishing a canopy. So you get good airflow and you get good shade. Also, quick shout out to the Ivy Organics team. You can see my Graze plant guard working beautifully, protecting where I had done cuts in the past and where it heals, and protecting it from sun scald as it wakes up this spring when the UV index gets really high. But if you look, this is my pride and joy. And this is something I want you to look at when you enter late spring. This is my Genovese Nero AF. And this is why I'm not worried about Italian 258, because they're quite synonymous. This has been in the ground with me since the beginning of this property. And fig trees like this wake up. They have their initial growth. Just to leaf out, you can see they're darker, but the leaves aren't quite as big. They're just figuring out their environment. This is often the times when they would set Breva figs, right, on last year's wood. But what I want you guys to notice, and this is what I'm going to show as the theme for a lot of the more mature trees here, is that when you hit the stride of they've woken up, they've decided it's time for their spring growth with an exclamation point. Because boom, see these shoots here? These are all less than a week old. And you can like look in the distance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? They have decided to grow. So everyone gets a little concerned because they're not growing hot out the gate in the beginning of the year, because they are just adjusting to the climate. They're feeling it out. But what you see here is when they get consistent warm temperatures and they are ready to flush growth. They are ready to keep those Breva figs on. They are ready to go and grow. So it only produced a few Brevas here, but they're going. We're going for gold with those all the way to fruition. So you can see a lot of my fig trees all in this past week did it. And I think maybe it was the first send-off. And I think it was maybe the first send-off of our like first thunderstorms for the year. But all that nitrogen just kind of hit them all at once, and they're like, we're ready to grow. We have thunderstorms, we have warm weather ahead. Let's do this, guys. And I have a fig orchard again, which is really great because of how rough this winter was and a lot of my mitigation strategies. So your figs will take stride. It depends where you are. I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, zone 8B. So they may not take stride for you up north for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month. But once you stop hitting that last freeze date and you're pushing your figs out, you're unwrapping them, they will take off. And a lot of that was like when they first wake up, are you hitting them with some good fertilizers, some good compost? Are they in the ground or not? Are they in containers? How are you exposing them to the sun? Things to be mindful of when growing a fig tree. As they mature and you keep them in a consistent flow, they will adapt to that flow and they will shine for you. This Genovese Nero is a perfect example. And even the ones that die back, they are coming back up. And I can't wait to show you guys what this area looks like come June, July, August. It's just going to be incredible. You can see my Peter's honey. And they're not waking up evenly, right? But they are just doing beautifully. And it's just these first flushes of growth you can see that are really letting me know that they are putting in a lot of energy to grow now. And I really wanted to share that with you today. The other piece of the pie that I wanted to share with you today is all these mother trees. But these are all my 1 gallon pots that'll be available soon. So many of them are in 1 gallon containers. You can see more here. And this doesn't look like a lot, but there's about 60 trees here for sale, all in 4x9 tree pots. So what do I have here? This one's ready to go. This is Violet de Soleil. And if you're curious how tree pots do with root development, they are shooting out of the bottom. So bottom watering really encourages root development if they have roots established. What do I have here? LSU Scots Black. Oh no, this is LSU Holier or Hollier. Beautiful fig. Look at that, guys. These will be available mid-May. I want them to grow a little bit more. Constantine de Algerie. And they're getting roots out the bottom too. And these are 4x9 Stew and Sons tree pots. I do have experimental varieties that aren't totally for sale. So shout out to Pro Fig for Ruby Zoisite. I'll be curious to see how that turns out. And some of you, I'm holding these for you guys. I have some Triano Calabrese. I have some Popone. I have LSU Purple, LSU Scots Black. So we shall see. There's a little stress one there. So any of you that up pot or transplant, death will happen or stress will happen. And sometimes they'll bounce back from that. My daughter ripped this Regato de Salento out of the ground and it has bounced back. So some varieties more resilient than others. I still have some others rooting here. And look, some cucumbers. Look at these cucumbers. Anyway, I have some more rooting here. And it's getting hot in the greenhouse. So it's not so much keeping the greenhouse warm enough for them or getting enough water for them, but it just gets so hot that I have to just be patient and take my time with these figs. But I love the setup. It's been a long time coming into getting Phil's figs ramped up. So I'm really grateful you guys are on this journey with me because this is too cool. And I love sharing that, like, this whole tray is full of Smiths and I'm probably getting like 40% success rate on these Smiths, and that's okay with me. I'm getting like 80% on Celestes. I'm getting mixed in between, new varieties. Look at this one's Natolino Fico Chirino. And down here, I have Black Tuscan. So I have Black Tuscan. But some of them I've really pushed. So like a lot of these I-258s may not be actually happening. But if you go over here, my Col de Dame Gris, I have a whole tray full. And it's just too cool. I mean, I've been doing this forever. I remember ordering Paradiso Gene fig cuttings from Encanto Farms and immediately killing them. I got some leaf growth and roots never happened. Reaching out to Joe Morley and touring his place in 2012 and getting fig trees from Bill from off the beaten path. My Paradiso Gene that has died back to the ground many years in a row now. I bought that from him in 2015, so a decade ago. And the fact that some of these guys are still in the game, some of them have stepped away from the fig scene, or we don't get to hear about them much anymore. It's wonderful that their stories live on in figs, and that's why a lot of us love figs so much, because of the stories that we carry with these fig trees. Because every fig tree has a story, fig fam, and there's something that keeps it special in my heart for that reason. And last but not least, I have the new addition to the fig orchard. So if you look over here, I have a hardy pomegranate. I have my black Madeira KK, my white Madeira #1, right? White Madeira #1. This is Campaniere, just waking up beautifully. Again, it had just started to leaf out here, and now it is all just boom, growth, growth, growth. It could be the compost, who knows? Shout out to Wilmington Compost Company. Shout out to Ivy Organics. Shout out to Earth Science for their good fertilizers. Shout out to Mother Earth for their fertilizers. My Giro Persimmon, so my non-astringent variety. Dwarf Orinoco banana. Dwarf Cavendish. My hardy bananas there. My Mousse Abajou. Look at this. My Brown Select Satsuma in the ground. Putting on fruit that we'll see this fall. But they just all finished flowering. My Sugar Bell Tangelo is full of fruit that hopefully many of them will ripen. My Kimbru Satsuma, after a heavy prune, is still putting on flowers rather than one big flush. They're just putting it on individually. And even my Eureka Lemon's holding on to some fruit this year, which is such a blessing. So you have it there. My Yuzu is putting on abundant fruit for being even such a small plant, so thanks to grafting. My avocado, we'll see how it does. I think it's just focusing on growing, but nothing like a nice tropical accent that'll hold. And shout out to Ivy Organics again for protecting these trees as I move them outside. They're in containers in the winter, put them out in full sunlight. Let's get them protected, right? The best part is that this plant guard is full of diatomaceous earth, so it keeps pests off of it. And it's also all natural and lets the respiration of the tree and the plant with the outside. It doesn't block it off completely and suffocate it. But even my Meyer lemon is holding on to some fruit this year. And it's such a baby. I'm going to let it do its thing. My Frost Satsuma. You can see I dropped some nitrogen fertilizer that the clover is picking up. And I haven't pruned this clover because I want all my pollinators to really just have at it with these. There's nothing wrong with clover, guys. Plus, when I'm done, you can just chop and drop clover and it's a nitrogen fixer. So, something to be mindful of. And again, my Ponte Tresa just woke up, was a little slow at the gate, and then boom, just pops. All this growth. Here, here, here. It just decided to go for it. So, I want you guys to know that if your figs are moving a little slow, be patient. Wait for those consistent warm temperatures because they will wake up beautifully for you. It's basically going to be summertime by May here in Wilmington, North Carolina. I have a feeling that all the plants know that, and that's really cool, guys. And I'm excited to share this journey with you. I had the fewest amount of fig trees starting in February that I've ever had for sale. And I think I'm going to have more than I've ever had for sale in a short 2-month time. So I did invest in some new varieties that won't be for sale, but I also really committed to a lot of consistent propagation methods that I've done year over year. And I had a lot more cuttings to work with while still getting a lot of cuttings. I went from being really stressed back in February, if you saw some of my videos, of not having enough fig trees, not having enough time. because I'm usually used to having fig trees ready, you know, by April for some of you, to now I'm putting up some really good numbers and I'm really happy. So shout out to Stu and Sons. Your pots are really great for consistency. Another year dialing in this greenhouse, dialing in the warm spaces, dialing in the cool spaces. And I have to say, maybe waiting a month and doing more at once with warmer conditions might be the best way to go, because I had more light, I had a little more warmth, and it allowed less energy spent during January trying to get things going out here in the greenhouse. I might try something new and do some indoor growing if I have space and my kids leave me alone inside the house. But this is a garden update that I can take a breath of fresh air, and after my spring fertilization, a lot of my repotting, I can sit back and water my fig trees and help them do what they want to do, and that is grow and produce fruit. And I want to show you guys the initial step where they decide to take off. The consistent warm weather and that nice warm summertime type rainfall, where they will shoot out a lot of growth afterwards with a lot of that nitrogen from the atmosphere. So I wanted to show you guys that. If you guys have questions, reach out. I'm here to help you grow figs and grow a fig tree, and fruit trees for that matter. And if you like this, subscribe, like, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, Fig Fam.